King Charles is facing his biggest headache since his coronation. How can he oust Harry and Meghan? The weary royals stand firm and force him to choose a side. Hello and a warm welcome back to our Princess Diana news channel. According to sources close to King Charles, the king is currently facing quite a dilemma, trying to balance his own desires while maintaining the monarchy. After the death of his mother, the late queen, dealing with enemies both within and outside his family causes him a major headache. As we've already discussed, Harry appears to be becoming more and more desperate in Los Angeles. And Meghan is becoming increasingly aggressive in her pursuit of a divorce. Meanwhile, the threat of Meghan's tell-all book requires the royal to handle the situation properly. King Charles may want to take his time and look for gentle solutions to the problem known as Harry and Meghan, but the lawyers won't stand for that, and it seems that the royal family's real powerhouse, William, is also losing patience. Now the idea that Harry could be vindicated both within his family and before the British public will reportedly never come to fruition. So the biggest decision King Charles faces is choosing the right son to support, since he can no longer support both. And if you ask me, the palace will reveal the truth about these children, and that will ruin Meghan Markle, if she hasn't already. I mean, it's over, both in the palace and in Hollywood. It doesn't look like Harry will be coming home for Christmas either. Although Meghan was the driving force behind his worst behavior, Harry was the enabler all along. He allowed her to behave horribly, and in some cases her behavior certainly eclipsed his. He allowed her to manipulate, lie, and deceive him, and he went along with it whenever he could. Many people say that their responsibility in all this should not be diluted. He doesn't care who he was, a decent member of the royal family. His backstory shouldn't just give him a pass. He was the cause of all their ugliness and is also responsible for much of his own ugliness towards his own family. And like his family, Harry also encouraged Meghan to treat her own father like shit. The truth is that people tend to be pretty fickle, so many will forget how terrible they are. If Meghan Markle really wants to continue working in Hollywood at her age, she would have to be a talented actress. It's a really tough market for older actresses, so there's no way someone like Meghan is going to make it. Meghan seems very competitive, but what exactly is her talent in this made-up competition? She's not a good podcaster. I mean, she definitely doesn't have a good fashion sense. To be honest, I'm not even sure what Meghan is doing other than trying to take her husband's life and hold him down. I mean, pretty unoriginal of him if you ask me. She claims to be a great feminist. I do not see it. Every time we see a story about Meghan and Harry in the media, we have to remember that they are manipulating everything. There are a few scammers, but these occasional stories can only last so long. They are basically the same as the boy who cried wolf. People get distracted, people get bored. As for Meghan's reward, you know she'll spend it and be back on the streets in no time. He talks a lot but can't say anything. There is no amount of money that is enough for her because she is a narcissist. And in the end, if no one pays attention to them, that's what will really destroy them. The only thing left for Meghan would be the invisible children, and of course now they have those titles. And with today's computer-generated images, you could easily create an entire story with our 12 productions. He was able to take pictures of it for most of his life, and I could probably make a lot of money from it. But let's hope Meghan Markle doesn't expect to live long, because she will have a time limit. Divorce or not, I'm afraid we still have some time before this show finally comes to an end. But I'm glad we have this space to ourselves where we can talk about all this, about how absurd it is. And wow, some of your comments are absolutely hilarious. Most of the time the whole saga is pretty boring. And sometimes there are moments of funny and embarrassing news. But the times of joy are moving too far away. We need to make a change because this slow-motion train wreck we've been watching is getting boring. And it doesn't take a genius to figure out why and wants to distance Andrew's family. The royal source says Andrew doesn't drink, smoke or take drugs, but it was his love of women that sadly led him to befriend American businessman and sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And that was his downfall. And Andrew had to pay a pretty heavy price for his indiscretions. The source goes on to say that he has lost his reputation, his job and his income, and is afraid to travel abroad in case he is arrested or someone else serves him a civil citation for sexual abuse. Last year, of course, Andrew settled out of court with alleged sex trafficking victim Virginia Giuffre. She accused him of having sexual relations with her when she was only 17, and the whole scandal placed a great strain on the late Queen in her final months. Now, after listening to the source claims that Charles understands that there may be no turning back for Andrew after all. He wants him to leave his royal box in Windsor, the source says. This is all part of his plan for a small and profitable monarchy. And Andrew simply can't pay the bills to repair such a large house, but the royal source also says some people aren't really fans of Charles's decision to have fewer working royals. Harry and Meghan are gone and Andrew is standing outside in the cold. So everyone else has to work a lot harder, and according to the source, it all depends on a few working royals. There are awkward moments when they are together, like at Balmoral. Recently, the family gathered to remember the late Queen, and the palace source says they see tensions rising and the show of unity collapsing. Andrew is only 63 years old and it is unclear what he will do with the rest of his life. But all the opinion polls show that it is at the bottom. It's even below Harry and Meghan. So the public simply wouldn't accept him carrying out royal duties, the source said. It's a sad end for a man who was a hero in the 1982 Falklands War. But Andrew has only himself to blame, and Charles and know it. And you, what do you think of this news? Please let me know what you think in the comments section below. And if you like our video tonight, don't forget to like and share it with your friends and family who can enjoy it anytime. And don't forget to hit subscribe for more updates from our Princess Diana news channel. Thanks for tuning in, goodbye and see you all again tonight.